It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview Kim Brady, who owns her own sports business. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Brandon. Thanks for having me.
Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to own and work in sports?
I've been an athlete my entire life. My parents always said I came out of the womb running. I never did anything walking. So I was always super, super athletic, and I played soccer since I was a little kid and had the privilege of playing all the way through college. And at the time, I knew that I really couldn't make any money as a female athlete. So I did kind of a traditional path through college and graduate school, et cetera. And while I was in graduate school, one of my classmates asked me to be a soccer coach for his daughter's team and coach with him. So I started working back in the field of the sport that I played in for several years and was a soccer coach for about 14 years. And then when I built my first company over 11 years ago, I built it solely on soccer principles because I had never taken an entrepreneur class. I'd never taken a business class. I had no business being in business. And as I built that whole process, it just all came naturally to me to build a team, to do things from a team perspective, et cetera. And then when I sold the company last year and decided to branch out and do my own consulting business full time, I realized that the clients that were reaching out to me, when I looked at them all, they all had a sports background. And part of the reason why they were interested in working with me directly was because of that sports background. So creating my business now, where I really help former athletes build their own businesses, is just a full circle, fun, awesome, wonderful time. So I don't think I've ever left the sport. You can take me off the field, but you can't take soccer out of me.
That's amazing. How did you know that you wanted to become a sports business coach?
Honestly, it was a little nudge and push from several of my friends. Several people had reached out to me and said, "Hey, are you willing to mentor me?" Or, "Hey, how did you build your business?" And so I just spent time talking with them. And then a couple people, including my god sister and a few other friends, they just said, "You really need to do this full time. This is what people want to know. They need to know how to do this, and you're really good at it. So please go help other people." And so that kind of branched in itself.
What does your sports business coach offer?
So I work with one-on-one people, either who are starting their own companies. So for example, I have someone who's building a nonprofit. She's wanting to build a local nonprofit. And then there's other clients that want to build something within sports themselves, or they're in completely different industries. And so I do one-on-one coaching, and I'm working on a huge project right now. I'm super excited. I'm doing a free class June 1st to do a sprint to startup kind of workshop for people. And I have a 3-month sprint to startup 90-day program that I build for people as well. So I have a couple programs that I'm offering right now.
Of course, with the programs that you offer, what are some of the benefits in them?
So essentially, I can teach people from start to launch of how they can literally get their business started within 90 days. Oftentimes people are so fearful to even get started, they don't realize that it's not rocket science. Many people have been doing this ahead of them, and they just need to get started. And so the whole benefit of it is being able to have an idea, or come up with an idea that you can take to profit or take to market to beta launch by 90 days. So that's a huge benefit of having someone who's already done it kind of teach you the tools that I used. So I give you all my tools. There's no tips or tricks or anything crazy. It's just very straightforward. And how do we get into getting yourself launched? So that's the best part about it for me.
Of course, as being a sports business coach, do you have those not ordinary jobs, like let's say a YouTuber? Have you helped YouTubers and stuff like that? Or are they just like normal sports business jobs?
Actually, the majority of the people who come to me aren't necessarily building a business in sport. They're doing something outside of their sport most of them, but they are using their sports philosophies. So some are interested in tech. I have not personally done something that they're building a YouTube business, but I can genuinely teach the same fundamental structure and principles of using that to be able to start their own company. So it doesn't matter to me what industry they're in. They don't have to be a sports business to be able to do it. It's just more of kind of like relating to that athletic background and the resiliency and the grit and the discipline and the work that you put into your sport can totally apply to business. And the focus is really on how do you build your team around you to help you become successful as a business owner, regardless of industry.
What does your entrepreneur coaching service offer?
Aside from the one-on-one coaching, or elaborate a little more on that question for me.
Yes, besides the one-on-one coaching.
So essentially there's a few options. One, I'll be able to record the sessions with them, and they're able to take that homework and take those assignments that I give them, provide them with resources, provide them with networking. The beautiful thing about soccer and sport in general is we're all kind of connected to one another. And so, for example, one of the people that I was working with this morning, when we were talking about what he needs to be connected to, I literally could create 3 or 4 different connections to my networking system to be able to build those relationships. So not only do you get one-on-one coaching with me, you end up being mentored in a way where you can build relationships with other people in the various industries. And I think that's one of the beautiful things. So after you stop working with me, you still have that benefit of being connected to me and the network of people that I know.
What is something that you learn now that you didn't know before starting your own sports business?
How much I miss sports, how much I miss soccer and being able to play. I can't compete anymore, too many injuries. But I absolutely, I don't think I would have realized how much I love doing it. I really didn't. I loved owning my own company and building my team. I feel really lucky that I was able to successfully sell it, and it's acquired by someone else now. So it's like that's my little legacy is still growing and it's doing its thing. And I think that the most beautiful thing is the relationships with people. That's what I love the most about sport and soccer anyway. And so, yeah, it's fun. I love it.
How has your coaching experience helped you now to become a business coach for sports?
So being a soccer coach in general, and how does that help and translate into being a business coach?
Yes.
Oh, 100% the same. All the technical work, the tactical work, the physical work, the mental work, including financial. How do you support yourself when you're an athlete? All those things all come into play as a business coach. And so you work on tactics for a business client. What are the processes that they're going to put in place? What systems, what tools are they going to use? Very similar to what systems and tactics are you going to do based on your opponent or the players that you have on the field, for example. Or say you have an individual sport like a swimmer and you're working on how do you get them to be faster, and how do you do the recovery? How do you manage your time? How do you taper to be ready for race day? It's the same thing in building a company, is you have to have some of these goals and plans, and then you back into them just like you would a sport to achieve a championship. They're so synergistic. They literally replicate each other. So they're completely transferable. 14 years of soccer coaching is not enough. I wish I had a little bit more, but I love it. It's fun.
What are some of your future plans with your sports business coaching?
Oh man, I can't wait to be able to hire some employees and help teach other coaches how to coach within the systems and the tools that I have. So I have kind of a big vision of where I want to go. Right now, I'm wanting to work my first, 18 to 24 months of this and really develop a solid client base of people who've started their own businesses. And then I want to help them scale. So I've been able to help other business owners scale their businesses to go from a one owner to multiple employees. And that's also super fun because it's a different plan of attack and a different arena going from startup to scaling your company. There's no straight line. So that's what I love.
What advice would you give upcoming future sports businesses and sports business coaches?
Just get started. You have to start somewhere. I saw something the other day. I don't recall who said it, but I thought it was great. It said beta now, better later. So beta test it now, tweak it, figure it out, get better, but you have to get started. And, I started playing soccer when I was 4. I certainly wasn't good at it then. And you practice and you get up and you keep going, you grab the ball and you do the same thing. It's the same thing in business. So you're going to get kicked in the teeth at times. You're going to, fall on your face and you just keep getting back up, but you have to get started. That's the biggest thing.
Where can my listeners find, of course, your sports business coaching at on social media and any other?
Yes, I'm on LinkedIn at Kim Brady. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Twitter and I'm on Instagram. You can find me Coach KB pretty much anywhere. And I have my own website at kimbradybusinesscoaching.com.
Thank you again, Kim Brady, for your interview, and best of luck in your sports business coaching.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Kim, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.